Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking about the Twilight Forest mod. If you don't know what it is, then it's basically a mod that adds a new dimension with many new biomes, mobs, blocks and more. And I'm gonna be teaching you how to defeat all the bosses and get all the good loot. So basically, this mod changes almost absolutely nothing about normal Minecraft. Everything is still the same. You can kill pigs, you can mine blocks, and do everything you want. You can go to the Nether, you can kill the dragon, and stuff like that. Because the only thing the Twilight Forest mod does is it adds the new dimension and all the stuff that it adds is in there. So, first, obviously, we'll have to get to that dimension, and how to do it, we'll need to create a portal. A portal to the Twilight Forest dimension is basically a 2x2 hole full of water surrounded by flowers, and then you throw a diamond inside, and that should open the portal. So first you'll need to pick the flowers. Then you'll need to dig the water hole. Make sure that every block is a source block, not a flowing block. This is like an infinite water supply. And then put in around it all your flowers. And then the last step is going to be to throw a diamond inside. And boom. With a strike of lightning, a portal to the Twilight Forest has appeared. Now you can jump in and see what awaits you on the other side. So let's do it. It's going to take you to the screen, and when it loads, you'll get in. I'm using the updated 1.16 version of the Twilight Forest, so some things may be different from the classic 1.12 version, but the fact that the 1.16 version is finally here shows that the developers are finally thinking about Twilight Forest again, and they make complete all the stuff that's incomplete and add something new over time. So, as you see, the Twilight Forest is literally what its name says. It's a Twilight Forest. It's always dark in here, so I recommend turning brightness all the way up in your settings. Now, first thing you'll probably notice is the trees. The Twilight Forest has many new biomes and they have new trees. There are many types of trees like these tall tin trees, or these absolutely ginormous trees, or even mushroom trees in some biomes. And these trees also have some interesting things about them, like some little insects can spawn on them, like this firefly that's actually a block that I can move now and place anywhere I want and light it up. The next thing you would probably want to try to find in a Minecraft world are animals, because they can give you food. That's the most basic reason. And so there are some normal animals that you can find in the overworld, like chickens, for example, but there are also animals that you wouldn't normally find on the overworld, like these deers or these crows. Now, let's talk about how this video will guide you through the Twilight Forest quickly. Basically, first we're gonna talk about all the little structures and things you can find, and then we'll turn onto the bosses. It sounds cool and simple, so let's get started on it. When traveling in the Twilight Forest, you'll find many structures. They can be as simple as these pillars or this giant obsidian structure, but there are also some structures that look interesting. For example, these houses. You may think that this house would be very simple to conquer, but if thinking so, you would be wrong, because these houses actually have a spawner inside, and they spawn skeletal trees who shoot poison magic at you. Who told that living in the Twilight Forest would be simple? but you can easily destroy the spawner by running inside or by just breaking through the roof. And actually, that is the easiest way to do it. But now we have to take care of the trees. Huh, they killed themselves. Occasionally they're tough enemies. And now the loot. The loot can be very different. It can be food, it can be some treasures, it can be almost anything. And this house is actually fairly simple, but there can be more interesting houses. For example, there can be houses that have a second story, or there can be houses that have a secret basement. Now let's take a quick break to talk about the enemies. These guys will occasionally spawn and you can easily kill them, but when they sometimes spawn, they'll have a book that will guide you through defeating a boss if you have stuck. Why to get you through it? Because the Twilight Forest actually has a new system for killing bosses, the tier system. What that means is that you can advance to kill one boss only if you have killed the previous. That's why it's important to read or watch a tutorial before playing the Twilight Forest, because you won't know what just to do. The next structure probably isn't that obvious, but they are these giant hills. You thought these were normal hills? Well, actually no, because there are no normal hills spawning on the Twilight Forest. Once a hill does spawn, it's always an empty hill. An empty hill? Yes, empty hills are a kind of hills where inside they're empty and inside awaits treasure, many ores, and also many dangerous monsters. First, you'll need to find an entrance, and look at that! Already diamonds. These can be very rewarding, but they are also super dangerous. There are three different sizes of the hollow hills, and each size is more dangerous but also more rewarding. Once the mountain gets bigger in size, more different monsters will spawn in it. For example, red cap goblins, or those slime bugs, or whatever other creatures. But there are some very interesting tools that you can find inside chests, inside these big hills, that aren't too usual because they're completely new. Let's quickly talk about three examples of these things you can find in the chests in the hollow hills. One is the transformation powder. Some mobs from Twilight Forest are actually very similar to mobs from the normal overworld, so you can transform them to their counterparts using the transformation powder. For example, watch what happens when I click a chicken. Just like that, it turns into a penguin, and if for some reason I want a chicken, then I can turn the penguin in it. It also works with other mobs, for example, deers can become cows. The next one is the Moonworm Queen. This is an item that's used to basically spawn these little glowing worms. One Moonworm Queen contains 256 worms, so you should be able to light up dark places for quite a while. And the last one is the ore magnet. It is used to suck ores from down beneath up to the surface. Just charge it, and there were no ores. Maybe this time? Yes, a vein of iron ore came up. So let me just quickly collect this. And let's try again. And this time it's a live root. There are so many different things introduced in the Twilight Forest mod that it is very difficult to understand them all. And let's try one last time. The magnet has durability, and the durability that it takes is connected to the size of the ore vein you suck up. The bigger the ore vein, the more damage it does to your magnet. And one of the last structures we'll talk about is this hedge maze. It has many treasures and monsters inside it. Now, of course, you could try and cheat and just walk on this, but Twilight Forest doesn't really like cheaters. And actually, it's not that interesting. So just try to finish this maze legitimately. Because did you hear that sound? Some mobs, like this spider-like creature, aren't very that difficult to kill, but they do have spawners. So try to get rid of them as fast as you can. But there are other mobs that are way more dangerous. Did you hear that growling about a moment ago? Well, it's a kind of wolf that is always hostile, and there's gonna be a bunch of them if you spend a lot of time in the maze. But you can get some pretty cool things from the chests. I'm not saying that I have the best of the luck, but it is possible. And the last structure we'll cover is this well. Well, it may not seem like it's very important as it seems like all those other monolith structures, but there's treasure down there. How can you get there? Well, I find this the easiest way. Just use a bucket to make that water disappear, and you'll get down there very quickly. Sometimes there's nothing, but sometimes if you choose to go down there, you will be rewarded with a chest full of treasures. But now, for the part that you really came here for, the bosses. There are many bosses, and because they have splitted around all the way around this map, it can be very difficult to locate them. So I recommend making a map. What map? Not just any map, a special kind of map that allows you to see where all the bosses are. To craft this map first, you'll need to make a special kind of feather. For it, you'll need three things. First, a black feather that you can get by killing those little black raven birds. And when you look at that, I got two of those. Next, you'll need to get some glowberries. These can be found in the Hollow Mountains, or you can find them in chests in these little houses that we talked about previously. So, if you chose to try to find the torchberries, glowberries, whatever you want to call them, in a hollow mountain, they grow in plants that look like this. Just destroy them and they'll be in your inventory. And the third thing we need is normal glowstone. You can try to get that in these hollow mountains by finding it hanging from the ceiling or fighting off some ghost-like creatures that drop it, or you can just go back to the normal world and get it from the nether. And once you have all the three ingredients, just put them together. Oops. To create a magic map focus. And now you'll only need to get 8 paper. You can find sugarcane growing around these little rivers and craft paper from sugarcane like usual. Now when you have all the things you need, just place the magic map focus in the center and place paper around it, and you have created a blank magic map. Use it, and now you can see the location of many bosses and structures. The first boss is going to be this green little head with red eyes. What does it represent? Well, if you traveled across the Twilight Forest landscape for a bit, you may have already come across it. It looks just like a giant stone maze, but it's actually where your first boss battle of Twilight Forest is going to take place. To start the battle, simply go in the maze and Naga will come. And this is Naga. It seems a bit weird. The best strategy fighting with Naga is to block its charged attacks with your shield to make it stun. A shield is very useful in the Naga fight. And yes, just block with shield, hit with sword. Maybe you can also try to shoot it with a bow, I don't know. But you just need to try to kill it as hard as you can. Also, to avoid cheating, you can't deal damage to Naga while outside the maze. And yes, when you deal damage to Naga, it will slowly lose its length. But if you leave it untouched for a while, it will regenerate its health back. Naga isn't very strong compared to the other bosses of Twilight Forest, so you can try to kill it with iron equipment. And when you kill it, it'll drop a Naga trophy that you really can't do much with. It's just simply a trophy. I mean, you can put it on your head, but just why? But it's a cool trophy. And it'll also drop some Naga scale. And if it's your first time touching it, you'll get an advancement that will let you to advance to the next boss. You can also craft armor with Naga scale, a chest plate and some leggings. The armor crafted with Naga scale is already enchanted. The armor crafted from Naga scale is more powerful than iron armor, so if you only have iron armor, I hugely suggest upgrading to Naga scale armor. Plus, Naga scale armor is more durable. As you can see, the leggings have protection 3 and the tunic has fire protection 3. Not the worst enchantments after all. The next boss which you've unlocked is Twilight Lich, and you have also probably already seen him. The place where Twilight Lich lives is basically a giant castle tower-like structure. This is a classic representation of Lich's tower. As you can see, it is very tall, and there are two options how you can do it. You can either tower up from the side, which is the safer option, or you can go on from the bottom, which is the option that we're actually gonna take because it's more interesting. As you can see, there will be magic protecting Lich's tower from you if you haven't killed Naga yet. These advancements sometimes glitch out, but basically that's the idea. And now, as you can see, we can enter Lich's tower. There will be no obvious entrance, so you have simply just to dig through a wall. Let me just get inside. There are many rooms. There are rooms that are like these little libraries. There are rooms with spawners. There are even some very weird rooms, like a room that resembles a desert. Just go through them and light them up and kill every mob you see. There will be many skeletons in Lich's tower, so if you think skeletons are dangerous, just beware them. There will be 2 staircases up, and they have holes in them, so just be careful. Oh, it's a baby zombie. Oh. See, you can get quickly overwhelmed if there are active spawners or you haven't lighted up an area. So try to do it as quickly as you can. Just block off rooms or run in them and light them up. So where is the zombie spawner room? See, there's a room with a spawner. Just block it off for now, so no zombies disturb you. And they are falling from the ceiling. Can you please just stop for a moment? I need to make a video here, but there are just too many zombies. You heard paper rustling, right? And by the way, there are many spawners up on the way that you need to destroy. The paper sounds are actually from mobs that are literally alive books. Let me just find one real quick. Yes, see? These are them. They'll shoot you with paper that'll grant you slowness, and they are really tough. They will drop paper as you attack them, and later on a book. Pretty logical, if you ask me. Makes sense. Okay, let's just quickly retreat. As you can see, the journey to Lich is very dangerous, and many will consider using the staircase. But Lich is not an easy boss to take on. So for Lich, you should probably upgrade to diamond armor or netherite if you're playing the 1.16 version. Another spawner for me to destroy. And done. Because there are 2 staircases, sometimes mobs can overflow from both sides, so really be careful and watch your back. And beware from these holes. Again, you would not want to go down them. And you'll see that on the top there's a glass floor, and that's the upper level where Lich lives. As you can see, there are many normal monsters, and that's because actually the only mobs that aren't available in the... There are mobs falling from the above, and there are mobs coming to me from the down. Lich's tower really is a dangerous place. But if you were hoping that the Lich's tower will get easier once you get to the top, oh no, it won't. It'll get even more dangerous, because Lich is actually surprisingly hard to defeat. It's almost impossible if you don't get the exact timings right of your attacks. Why that? Well, because you can't just go to Lich and kill him, as all the bosses have tiers that you need to unlock. The Lich also has them. That's like, for example, the Wither has 2 phases. in one which you can harm it with arrows, and in one in which you can't. But the Lich also has phases, only he has 3. And actually, the first phase is way more difficult than the others. How? Well, you're about to see. Because once you reach the top, Lich will be there. In its first phase, you can't harm it, and it'll summon other Liches that'll look like it. And as you can see, there are these ender pearl-like things. If you can throw them back at Lich, one of these shields will get removed, and they come after you when the Lich has blue smoke surrounding him, and also his lookalikes. But if there's orange smoke surrounding them, then they're gonna shoot a fireball. And as you can see, they're gonna teleport after you to make it even harder. And you probably didn't see that, but I just got an ender pearl back at Lich, and so one of his shields broke. And you need to do it with all 3. And sometimes the Lich chooses that inside is just too much, so he tries to go out adventuring, and it can be very hard to find where he has gone. Sometimes he's on the roof, and you just can't get to him, but try to find where the Lich is. As you can see, I have removed 2 parts of the boss bar. You can remove one by throwing an ender pearl at him back. But yes, this is the first phase of Lich. You just need to throw ender pearls at him. As you can hear by the blaze sounds, he's close, but this dark one isn't actually Lich. It's a Lich lookalike that can shoot at you, but you can't do any damage to it. The real Lich, however, is the one that you can do damage to. And you just need to throw those pearls back at— oh, and these guys, they shoot pearls at you that you can throw at Lich, but if you throw them at them back, nothing will change, because these dark versions of Lich are immortal. They just shoot at you, but you can't do anything back to them. Not too cool if you would ask me. But anyway, where did Lich go? I can hear the blaze sounds, but these are the dark ones. You'll need to get past them. How do I get up to the real Lich is the question. Okay, I managed to do it. And he chose to teleport. And now the second phase begins. In this one, he'll summon zombies that will attack you. And in this phase, you can actually harm Lich by using a weapon on him. So fight off the zombies and try to kill Lich. Oh, he's angry. He's teleporting after me. Where is he? I'll just go up here, don't mind me. Whoa, these lookalikes are still here. Yes, they stay here if you have been a bit far. But yes, there is Lich, and I can shoot him now actually. And if the third phase begins, he's going to attack you by sword himself. He's stuck and he can't teleport. Why is he shooting at me? Oh, that's right, he can still shoot. Well, I'm just gonna shoot at you back, buddy. I think Lich glitched out. Because he's meant to be teleporting, but he's just chilling there. Oh, he's dangerous. The teleport sounds are there, but Lich isn't moving. I feel like I should help him. Take this, buddy. Oh, right. Um, Maybe I shouldn't have helped him. But anyway. Just die. Oh, right. He's going down now. Can I catch you? Note that the Twilight mod can be a bit glitchy and do weird things, but it's because it's still in development, so you can't expect things to be perfect. After all, who would be able to code a mod perfect on the first try? Even on vanilla Minecraft there are many bugs that need fixing. But okay, I just shoot at Lich and he does nothing back. Poor guy. I'll go and... oh. Well, doing it with a sword was a bad idea. But yes, once the second phase and zombies begin, just need to kill him. Let's just find where my Lich is. Is he on the stone staircase? He may be. But I see a zombie. Oh yes, the bar is red. That means he's at the third stage. And now he'll actually attack you using a sword. So, Lich, where are you? I think he managed to teleport. And now I'll need to spend all the day trying to find him. It sounds like he's down here somewhere, because I heard the blaze noises. Oh, right, there he is. Yes, you can see he has a sword now. Let's engage in battle, you skeleton. And he... oh. Oh, no. Just one more good hit. And he's dead. And once Lich dies, it will get you a Lich trophy, some armor and weapons, and a scepter. There are 3 scepters, and you can actually try to collect them all because there are many Liches in your world. For example, this scepter has the ability to shoot the pearls he threw at you. It has 97 charges left, but scepters will be able to be repaired once their charges are all spent. There are 3 scepters. This Scepter of Twilight, which shoots the fireballs. Scepter of Life Draining, which harms mobs that you have chosen to attack. And Scepter of... then there's also Scepter of Zombies that will summon friendly zombies for you. And I think there's also a Shield Scepter which will let you to get the shields of Lich, but they will not be as hard to harm because... ow! Why are you attacking me? Alright, so the first 2 bosses are down, and once you kill Lich, you can see that it actually unlocks 3 areas for you. And right, not just bosses, areas. You may have come across a biome that was seemingly impossible to get in. The swamp, the dark forest, and the frozen lands. By the way, a note, these bosses will get really, and I mean really difficult to kill. So you must have a diamond gear set to kill them. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. If we get 5 likes on this, I'll make another episode about all the other bosses. I hope you enjoyed the video or found it helpful. Thank you for watching and goodbye.